Okay, so now chapter 12.4 is on a box and whisker plot, and it is exactly as it means. There's a box, and on either side it's got whiskers. So the box is created by the interquartile range. So it's almost like there's a box right there. There's a line inside the box, and then on either side it's got whiskers. And these two lines right here represent the whiskers. So the line in the middle is the median of the whole data set. There's a dot on the maximum. The end of the box is on the third quartile, and the beginning of the box is on the first quartile, and the median is called the second quartile. Okay, and here this shows you a little bit about the box and whisker. Again, minimum has a dot, first quartile has a dot, the median has a dot, the third quartile has a dot, and then the maximum has a dot. And the box is made up by the space between the first quartile and the third quartile. Okay, so the table shows the amount of crops harvested in the United States for a certain period. What box and whisker plot represents the data? And to save time for the video, I went ahead and listed the data in numerical order, and I already went ahead and drew my number line. Now my number line starts at 303 and it ends at 322, but I didn't number them all. I only numbered 303 and then every fifth one. Okay, so you want to put a dot on the minimum, which is 303. And you also want to put a dot on the maximum, which is 321. Now those should be easy for everybody to be able to figure out. You also want to put a dot on the median of the data set. So if we find the median, you're going to mark out from the outside in. It looks like it's 314, so that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right there, that's going to be the line for your box. And now you need to find the median of the top side and of the bottom side of your data set. So the median of the bottom is going to be 311. The median of the top is going to be 316. So 311 is here. Put a dot. That's going to be the bottom side of your box. And then 316, put a dot. That's going to be the top side of your box. So draw your box for your box and whisker plot. And then draw your whiskers. And there you go. You've made a box and whisker plot. Okay, you can practice on this. I'm not going to do it for the video, but if you want to see if you can make a box and whisker plot, go ahead. Now let's interpret a box and whisker plot. What do the interquartile ranges tell you about the monthly average rainfall for each city? We've got Miami, Florida, and then we've got New Orleans. So when the box is big like this, what that means is it varies a lot. The rainfall does for Miami. But for New Orleans, you see the box is much smaller. It only goes from a little less than 5 to 6. So that doesn't change very much, which means there's not very much range in the amount of rainfall. It's probably around this every single time. And see how the whiskers are smaller too. It goes from 3 to almost 7. There's not much difference. But Miami, a little less than 2 to almost 9. So there's a big difference for Miami, and the box is bigger, which also tells you the same thing. And then we move on to something called percentiles, which I hear a lot dealing with testing data. I don't know if we say it to you a lot, but we'll say that so-and-so is in the 95th percentile, which means they did better than 95% of the kids that took the test. So for this test, we've got 25 test scores, and 8 or less than are equal to 75. What is the percentile rank of a 75? So let's say you made a 75 on the test. What is your percentile rank? So 8 out of 25 are less than or equal to a 75. So if you divide that, you get 0.32, which is the same thing as 32%. Now obviously you want to move it to a percent since we're talking about percentiles. So that means that 32% of the people who took the test made less than a 75. So that would be in the 32 percentile range. Okay. Question 40 on here says, of 25 scores in problem 4, there are 15 scores less than or equal to 85. What is the percentile rank of an 85? So we're going to do, for this one, 15. Where did 58 come from? We're going to do 15 out of 25, which is 60%. Okay, here's your got it questions. Do them on a separate sheet of paper. Bring them to me tomorrow. If you have any questions, you contact me. If not, I'll see you tomorrow.